Estate planning at first glance looks complicated, but it's actually not with a trained professional. It would be like entering into a conversation that lasts an hour or so and just walking through the various steps. Estate planning is the process of making sure that your family and your assets and your legacy are transferred from you to them at the appropriate times.
We want to have a plan that our loved ones can step into and carry out efficiently and not be a burden to everybody else.
What's included in an estate plan is a living trust, pour-over will, durable power of attorney, advanced health care directive, HIPAA waivers, the deeds to property, and also the property tax paperwork that goes along.
What we're doing is we're creating a plan that's legally binding.
A properly drafted estate plan is much like a lifeboat is on a cruise ship. The things that get into the lifeboat are preserved and will not drown. If you have assets not in your lifeboat, then you'll have to go through probate.
And one thing that makes things difficult for their loved ones is probate. If we don't have a plan in place, all those assets end up in front of a judge, and a judge tries to figure out what assets I had, what debts did I have, where did I want all those assets to go. There's a lot of bad things about probate. One is it's very expensive. Two, it's extremely time consuming. And three, everything becomes public record. Let's say that you've got a $500,000 house. The minimum amount that the attorney will get to take those assets through probate is $13,000. And that doesn't account for filing fees, executor's fees, appraisal fees, publication fees. All of those costs can over double that amount. The larger the estate is, the more it's going to be. Average garden variety probate will run anywhere between a year and 2 years.
When you look at the 405 freeway at rush hour, you're sitting on the freeway and you're saying to yourself, there's got to be a better way. And you see that guy speeding along in the diamond lane. Well, in our business, what that is that's called a living trust, where you speed by all those people wasting a year in court and you just get to the good part.
It's very unsettling to me to think that if something were to happen to me and my husband, a judge would have the power to name somebody to take care of and raise our children.
As a lawyer and as a father, I would recommend to you that you thoroughly think out your estate plan. The way to make sure that your children are taken care of is by having a properly drafted guardianship paper drawn up and notarized. You also have to allow this plan to evolve. There's what your kid needs when he's like 4 years old. What will he need when he's 14 years old?
So if something were to happen to you and you had minor children that were still in school, you wouldn't want them to inherit a bunch of money and then spend it all on, a new car or frivolous things. So what you can do is plan for their education in a living trust.
What high school is he going to? What city should he live in? And is that properly funded?
You can actually do a pet trust in your estate plan. So along with setting up provisions for example, for education for your children, you can set up specific detailed provisions for your pet.
So we have to think a lot of things through, not only for right now, but in the years to come. If you put everything into your living trust that should be in there, you will not have the pain of probate and the time and the costs associated with it.
A lot of times people are concerned about what happens, who's going to make my medical decisions if I'm in a coma or if I get Alzheimer's. Those are things that weigh on people's minds. If you've ever heard of Terry Schiavo, she was on life support for 8 or 9 years while her loved ones fought over who got to make the decisions for her. Advanced Health Care Directive is a document that allows you to appoint who you want to make your medical decisions for you in the event of your incapacity.
If you have a special needs child, you can make sure that your special needs child is provided for in your estate plan by setting up a special needs trust.
Same-sex marriage or a same-sex relationship, it's a bond that we recognize between two people, and we certainly can help them to put together an estate plan that the survivor of the two is provided for and that their wishes are carried out.
Estate planning can come across as an intimidating process to our clients. However, when you realize that it's about you, your family, your kids, and what you hold very important to you, that is something to be embraced and not feared. Because of our experience and our knowledge, at the Zara Ledwidson Born Camp, we'll make you feel comfortable with the whole process. We make your legacy wishes become law in that we write down what you want and how you want it. And that gives it legal force and effect and must be respected by your family and the courts.